There's no way you're telling me that there was another gap fill today, Patrick. How is that even possible? You're telling me that you have a strategy that continuously happens day after day after day. Another gap fill. Today, going to show you the breakdown here this morning live on YouTube. Absolutely crushing the markets. Once again, if you're not tuning in at 9:15, I don't know what you're doing. You're watching the wrong live stream. Let's get into it, my friends. All right, first things first, pulling up the chart here, we got the QQQ. And you can see we basically had the close yesterday down here at like this 327 level. We opened up here at the 328s. What's interesting is we were pretty much above the VWAP there in the morning. And the nice thing about this is we had that pivot point right there. So we had the pivot point, and guess what? We had a just waterfall of a move. The market just going wee right down there to that pivot point. Now, people are going to say, yeah, but you did it in hindsight. If you watch the live stream, you can see that we talked about this gap fill happening before the market even opened. We were talking about this at 9:15 this morning when the market was here at the 328s. At the open, we had to squeeze up. What was interesting is I'll show you guys the NASDAQ here in a second, but that was the gap fill for the QQQ just playing out literally like by the book. I mean, perfectly, the Patrick Whelan breakdown setup, whatever you want to call it, it happened right there live on YouTube. If we look at the SPY this morning, we had a pretty good, we didn't get the full fill, like we didn't get the full like really close to getting the full gap fill, but we did get that break to the downside and the SPY selling off. So the SPY opening up this morning above that pivot point right there at the 411.96. We were above the VWAP. We then broke through the pivot point there and went right on down there to the 410.60 area. The market going straight up right now, actually. What in the world is going on? But in general, you can see the SPY selling off here this morning, filling the gap. What I do want to show you guys is, number one, we had the gap fill, right? We talk a lot about the gap fill here on the channel, but that's just one simple strategy. We have another really good strategy here as well. So this morning, if we look, I think, oh, look at the market. It's still going higher right now. Absolutely nuts. Breaking out there, you got the Lux Algo indicator, trend line break, giving you the signal to get long there off the 50, off the 45s here on the NASDAQ and up 40 points. Look at it, just ripping higher right now. This is all live as we see this happening. But let's go back to the morning move here just to get a better idea. So the morning move here, we had the push up, we had our signal, we were above the VWAP. Obviously, sometimes, you're above the VWAP, blah, blah, blah. But in general, we had the gap fill. We were looking for that gap fill. But what else did we have going on today that was actually very solid in terms of knowing when to enter and when to trade? I talked about this actually as we were sitting here kind of consolidating. We were kind of consolidating here, chopping around. And I'm like, guys, what I would be looking for this to do now is I'm looking for something important. And you guys might be watching this video right now and you go, what was he looking for? What was he possibly looking for? Well, guess what? Let's go to the 15-minute chart. We go to the 15-minute chart here this morning. We pull it up. And there's the open 15-minute candle. So the 15-minute candle right there, just do. And then right there. All right. So that first 15-minute candle, the high and the low, we have our range. What do we have? We have our range. We're opening up this next candle right there in the middle of the range. If we go to the smaller time frames, looking for our entry here. All right. We got the signal for the break to the downside already with the Lux Algo indicator there. But in general, the idea here is to trade this 15-minute candle opening range breakdown breakup. So that would have actually, this would have been the low right there. Would have been the low. So what we're looking for is a break through the downside of this opening range on that first 15-minute candle. The market opens at 9:30. Some people like to argue and say the market opens earlier, but it actually opens at 9:30. I don't know why people even argue with me, but in general, the market opens 9:30. So the market opens at 9:30. The NASDAQ here starts to chop around. And I'm telling people like, hey, look, as long as we're chopping around here, all we need to do is just wait for what? We need to wait for that 15-minute candle to open and close, and then we have a better idea of what to do from there. So here you go. Beautiful trade here off of this break to the downside. You're shorting basically through here, your stop. I would like to be kind of shorting this kind of candle to close through there. vice versa. Let's say you shorted there at the 12s. You're still risking, like I would, for the NASDAQ, I think like a good risk reward is kind of risking like 8 to 10 points with a target of 20 points. The NASDAQ's pretty volatile. It's hard to trade the NASDAQ with only like a 5-point stop. Like you'll pretty much get stopped out guaranteed. So you really have to have a little bit wider of a stop. So that comes down to your sizing. You want to change up your sizing some. If you're trading, larger size on the ES, the ES is not moving as much as the NASDAQ, not as volatile. So for the NASDAQ, I think you need at least like 10 points. So there's that break to the downside, the 15-minute opening range breakdown. We talked about this, on Monday, on Tuesday, we talked about this setup here, and you can see the NASDAQ perfectly playing out there. If we go and look at the ES, very similar as well. I think the ES was even better in terms of getting that breakdown there at open. You can see here the Lux Algo indicator giving us the break to the downside with that possible gap fill. If we go to the 15-minute chart, just to get an idea of what that opening range looked like, same idea. This one was actually really nice because we have basically our opening range here, 930. All right, perfect. And so we see that first 15-minute candle. It's not rocket science. There you go, the low, the high. We got it figured out, right? We know where that's at. That's that opening 15-minute range. See here, 930 till 945. We kind of were bouncing off the low of that 15-minute candle for a second, and then we dropped right through there. So from the 37s down there to the 26s for 10 points. I mean, 10 points on the ES is like, you can make money every day, make 10 points, walk away, you're rich. Like, well, why make it any harder than that? So a beautiful move here. Again, the 15-minute order block range, whatever you want to call it, opening range there, 15 minutes. Really simple strategy. We had the gap fill, so we knew the gap fill was very possible on the SPY. We talked about that pre-market, the idea of pulling back here at open. That's exactly what we did. We had some stuff going on, I guess, with Biden talking about the debt ceiling right now and the market going to the absolute moon here. Wowzers, just breaking out to the moon right there. But in general, this is what it's all about. We're trading easy setups. We're looking for those gap fills. We're looking for the 15-minute break down, break up. And that's exactly what we got once again today. Look at this thing, still just going to the moon. Oh my gosh. Kind of missing out on this. I might have some FOMO. I don't know if I'm going to FOMO into it yet, but you can see the buy signal there on the Lux Algo indicator at 1226 up there to the 4,160s. What an insane move there. And also we got big news today as well that the Lux, we also have big news today. We're going to be offering a kind of membership for the, and actually see, so like we have Sage in the community talking about the chat, going through live during the day. So he's calling out some trades and stuff like that. So if you guys want to learn more about the Market Flow Trader community, there's that link there down below. I think it's $49 a month. If you guys want to sign up and check it out, you can get some access to some of the early core stuff, but then for the lifetime membership, it's like $497. So that's pretty much what we did today. We opened up, same plan as always. We looked for the gap. We had the opening range breakdown, break up. We made money. It's really simple. We literally just look for opportunities every day. We have the same mindset, take the trades, take the opportunities. The market is still going straight up right now. Insane. There it is. If you guys haven't already hit that like button, subscribe button, let's go.